Hello, and welcome to the Diaries of Ordinary People, the podcast that brings you raw, unfiltered, and honest stories from everyday experiences. I'm your host, Ash, and each episode we dive into personal diaries and journals to uncover the heartfelt moments and challenges that connect us all. So, whether you're commuting, taking a break, or just winding down, join us as we explore real and authentic lives. This is the Diaries of Ordinary People. Hi Toby, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Strange to be here.
Fair enough. It's an interesting set of circumstances for sure.
Yeah. I mean, a few weeks ago, I joked that you should do a podcast because I can see you doing it. Fast forward, we're actually doing it. And I gave you the name of the podcast.
Yeah, all credit to you.
Yeah. Yes, it's just strange.
So when you said it as a joke, do you think you were just, there was no part of you that was like, oh, this could be a thing? Or you just like, nah.
No, I remember saying, oh, you should do a podcast. Well, I can see you do a podcast. I could just picture it in the head. And he went, okay. And then you just jumped right into it. I don't know what was the name you thought about the podcast originally.
I don't think it was exactly this, but it was something similar. And then you said the Diaries of Ordinary People.
Yeah.
It was something similar or around this anyway.
Yeah, it's probably not the Diaries, it's probably like something ordinary people.
I think maybe been the lives of.
Oh yeah, I think
something like that it was.
I think it was that. And I was like, nah, how about diary?
I want to start today by asking you quite a direct question.
Go on.
What's your most fundamental core value?
As an individual?
Yeah.
We spoke about this a lot. Core values. Respect and honesty, really. Yeah. Or, well, I don't know if admiration comes with it, but you can't get admiration without respect.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of factors ties into that. Honesty is also a big thing as well, because growing up, always, just be honest. Obviously, from a young age, if you lie, you get punished.
Yeah.
So it's best to be honest, I mean, some people do lie just to, lie about the small things.
White lies kind of thing.
But growing up, every time I tell a lie, I get punished so hard. Not like abuse, but obviously, like, oh, yeah, you're grounded.
Yeah, there was repercussions.
Yeah. So lying isn't one of the things I value. Well, honesty I value. Yeah. Because if you're lying to me, then we're not being truthful to each other, and therefore cause trust issues. And therefore you start questioning about your relationship with them, friends, family, and so on. I know being honest can sometimes makes you feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
And people don't like being vulnerable because, some people see it as a sign of weakness or a sign that it's not, well, from a guy perspective, it's like, oh, it's not masculine. So it goes from, it ties, a lot of things factors in, one thing about honesty, and then it leads to trust, and then it leads to, relationships, which then leads to vulnerability, all that stuff. It's a domino effect. Yeah, from one subject or emotion to another. Yeah. And it's nice being honest, or just being nice in general, because you would be nice to people you help what you speak to will be nice. That's how you form connections as well. Honesty, connections. Connection is also important. We're all social beings, and no one likes to be alone. And to make connections, you have to be honest. Yeah.
Where do you think that core value came from? Honesty.
Honesty. You could say a lot of things stems from childhood or your upbringing. You know, your parents, the people you hang out with. It's like saying with like people being rude or being an asshole, and I don't know. I think I grew up in a nice place. No abuse, no racism, no. You could say I've been brought up with good parents. Really, like been taught at a young age. Don't do this, don't do that. Obviously, parenting is important because if you grow up with bad parenting, then that kind of has an effect on your mindset and growing up, and you think that's normal. Especially with like some people you see down the street who is being an asshole, just in general, and a part of that why they're being like that is because they probably grew up being an asshole. And where did they learn that from? Probably from parents or the people they grew up with. So I'm fortunate to have been brought up in a good place, with a good childhood, with a brother and sister, with mum and dad. Yeah.
What's your first memory?
My first memory?
Yeah.
I don't believe in like a first memory. I'm sure you say you remember one thing, but you just don't know in what point in time it is like the earliest memory. You can say it's just fragments, but you can't tell which one came first. And collectively in the end, you could just say it's from when you're the age of 6 or 5. But first memory, I don't think anyone can remember their first memory. Maybe that memory is like the memory that stands out the most. Could be something that you've enjoyed doing as a kid. And for me personally, first memory of anything is probably like just doing drawings, really. Like if I look back at childhood, the one thing I remember the most is playing toys or drawing, having fun, staying indoors. Rarely go outside. I don't remember any good memories going outside as a kid. It's mostly indoors. It's like a safe haven, just watching TV, like CITV after school, all that lot, play Lego. Yeah. First memory, or shall I say, a collection of memories, just being indoors, just playing with toys. In terms of like with friends, not so much. I only see friends in school, but never see friends outside of school. So most of my memory or earliest memories is just being in the house, really.
How do you think that's impacted you today?
Well, to be brutally honest, I feel like it made me into an introvert at some point growing up. Growing up, I don't really go out, see friends, and being Chinese growing up, I did experience some form of bullying. I didn't really take that to heart too much, but I just feel more safe being indoors growing up. But I do remember one point growing up when I was 10 or 11, I did went outside, learning to ride a bike, riding down the beach on my own, and so on. But it's mostly indoors. And growing up into secondary school, the teenage years. Looking back at it now, I did think that had an impact. You know, just staying indoors.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned drawing quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a passion that you still have now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Something I look forward to outside of work. Well, growing up, like in late teenage years to early 20s, I had like a strong passion for it, drawing. And this is also stemmed from childhood as well, or my earliest memories, just drawing. This, I think that's hardwired into my mind, really.
What, drawing?
Drawing. Yeah. Like, I don't remember my mom or my dad saying you should pursue this or that as a hobby or as a career. They just knew I liked drawing, and I just kept with it. Yeah.
Have you found any new kind of passions or hobbies since you've grown up more? Are you still drawing?
Yes, of course, still drawing, but after going outside or explore the world a bit more, I've tapped into like video editing, making videos. I think YouTube is also played a part in growing up. I believe YouTube came out in 2006, 2005. That's around when I was like 13, 14, somewhere there. And I remember being glued to YouTube, just watching funny videos and that. And growing up and going into college, I remember taking film studies. That's one of them. It's just because it's a creative subject and you can make videos. And I had an interest in it. I didn't pursue it as a career, no. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. But I always have a passion for it, just to make videos for fun, really. Just for myself, not for anyone to show, just for myself. Because, you know, growing up, you're watching these stupid videos with crazy effects, you know, just for jokes and laughs. And I thought, I can do that one day. And fast forward now, I can easily do those for myself and for friends. And after playing around with it for a while, I thought I'll take it to the next step. You know, getting a camera, do some filming, cinematography, and that. Yeah. So not just drawing anymore. It's more, I'm adding filmmaking into it. Yeah.
So what have the past 12 months looked like for you?
Past 12 months.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah, past 12 months. Let's say the past 18 months.
Okay.
So from 2022, you know, just turning 30, people say it's a milestone. It is scary, but I said to myself, age is just a number. And fast forward to this year, 2024. Did I say 2023?
No. You're good.
I did.
No, you're fine. You didn't say anything wrong.
Oh, okay. I thought I said 2022 or something, but yeah, fast forward 2024 today, as of this podcast, being 31. It's scary, of course, because, you know, since COVID, things just went flying. Time just went flying. And then I had like a sudden realization that over the past 3 or 4 years, I've just been doing nothing but work. And yeah, I work nights.
Okay.
So it's an easy job. But I've just been stuck at that job since I got proper work after uni. And I had like a big self-reflection moment. You know, what have I learned over the last few years? Or what have I achieved over the last few years? And it was a scary moment for me where I believed I achieved like nothing, like no goals. People say to live in the moment, which I did. didn't have to worry about the future, just live life as it is. But I feel like I wouldn't say that's a mistake, because I could just live life as it is, just enjoy myself. But I feel like growing as a person, as an individual, moving into my 30s, I feel like I have achieved nothing. Like no new skill, like nothing. And I remember when Chinese New Year were around, obviously people want the best of health, best for your future. And I said to myself, I want to change something up, just change. And the first thing I did was to go back onto my art stuff, because I have been neglecting my art stuff for quite a while. I was more focused on like my job and like spending time with friends, going out and such. And I feel a bit lost when I first got I've talked about this with you. Where okay, I want to get back into art a bit more. Look at jobs and that. But after a few weeks, I started becoming more and more stressed about it, because I just didn't know where to start. And I tried to distract myself, just playing games and catching up with friends and that. And then eventually it got to the point where it just all came crashing down. Like I just couldn't take it anymore. And yeah, it was a big moment. Like a rock bottom moment, where you just look back on the things you've achieved or what you've done, and it's just all but work. Nothing really. I didn't learn anything new, and I've been neglecting my my art stuff. Just focus on work. And I feel like I wasted the last few years just doing nothing but work. And at one point I thought I was a failure, which this rock bottom moment was somewhat of a wake up call, or maybe more self-aware about things in general. Because over the last few years, it's just work, sleep, get out, meet friends, catch up, play games. The cycle repeats itself. And I feel like I've wasted those years doing that. Like when I had my rock bottom moment, I thought like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. I should have focused on this instead. And then having to play catch up, and playing catch up just because, people have gone into relationships, or they've got a new job, or they've got a promotion, and you're still stuck at the same loop, kind of like an autopilot. And yeah, just a lot of emotions just running through my mind at the time, and something needed to change. And I feel like the mindset needs to change first. Like you say stuff like, "Oh, I'm going to do this," or you wanted to change, but nothing's happening. You just keep delaying it because it's not affecting you as much. You would say, things like, "Oh, I need to change. I need to get a new job," but you're still at that job, at your current job, but you're not pursuing to get a new job until you get sacked or made redundant. And then, that's when you need to change jobs, as an example. I feel like something needed to change, and the first thing that needs to change is the mindset, or how I see things, really. Ever since then, I can't be the same person as I was like a few years ago, just working and sleep. As much as I want to live life comfortably, I feel like I'm not growing as an individual. And so something does need to change. And it was a wake-up call as well. looking back at it now, when I had that breakdown moment, I'm glad I did have that moment. Otherwise, if I did not have that moment, I would just be in the same old mindset. Wake up, sleep, go to work, not pursuing any new knowledge, so on and so forth. And like when I like, it's a really difficult moment. Like the last 6 years is just the same old. I mean, I have done things besides work, like go on holiday and that. But I just feel like the last 6 years has just been the same. Just the same. I'm not pursuing anything. And half that's like, I want the next 6 years to be different. Because if I don't change now, the next 6 years will be just the same as the last 6 years. And like, just the feeling of being left behind while everyone else is like moving onward. They're like exploring new places, experiencing new things. And I'm sorry, I literally forgot. I literally went off for a moment.
You're allowed to.
Yeah. No one likes to discuss or share their rock bottom moments. This ain't the first time, to be honest. I had my first rock bottom back at uni, where I thought what I was pursuing for a career would be a dream for me, but it turns out it's not. And at the time, I felt like I've wasted like the years following up to uni. I feel like that's like wasted. You've been told to get good grades and you would get this and that. But the reality is that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The world is not what you think it is until you actually go out there. And yeah, the first rock bottom moment, I had to change. Well, I did say to myself, "Oh, I can get through this. It's fine." But then, less than a year, another rock bottom moment hits, where it's just a realization I can't do this anymore. I had to leave uni and go to another uni to pursue something else. And yeah, it was a harsh moment. It's also a sad moment too, where you invested 2 years in uni, only to realize it's not the right thing. All the time and investment in making new friends and like explore outside home, like wasted. Yeah, and now fast forward 10 years later, exactly 10 years later since the last rock bottom moment, I have a rock bottom moment again. Yeah, rock bottom moments, it can be the most depressing moment in life, but it can also bring change for the better. Because people say, "Oh, you do this, I'll do this," but you're comfortable where you're at the moment, so you don't feel the need to change. It's not until where things gone from bad to worse is when you need to change. It's kind of like a last minute effort. Well, not effort, like, I don't know what example I could give. It's, you say you want to do something, but you're just leaving it till the last minute. And by the time it comes around, it's too late. And that's when you need to change. Immediate, you need to change because it's already done the damage. And yeah, you can't stick around doing the same thing. You have to change up.
So what are you going to change? What do you want to change in the next 12 months?
The next 12 months?
Yeah, in the next year.
Well, I'm currently in that change. It's slow. And that's the change in mindset, really.
And how's that going? Tell me more about that.
Well, we've been talking about it for a while now. What's the question again? Sorry.
So what do you think is going to change over the next 12 months for you? And you said it's the mindset.
Yes, the mindset. Sorry. Just how you perceive and view things in general, like in life. You know, growing up, I wasn't taught financial literacy, like how things work.
In a monetary sense.
Yeah. And like the value of things as well. Which makes me question about the education system, because they don't tell you these kind of things, and when you do tell them when they tell you those kind of things, you know, when you're a teenager, you know, you just don't give a shit. You just you know, as a kid, you just want to like you know, just go out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have listened if they gave me financial advice at 15.
Yeah, so
I told them to fuck off.
yeah, and then like when I looked into that, I was like, why have I not been taught this? They may have taught it, but we just didn't listen. And even if we were taught it, it's just like it never was a big subject. You've just been told to go and get your good grades, go to uni, get a piece of paper to say, oh, you're qualified, and then what? Yes, I can see your.
I can clarify, when you unroll the scroll, it just says, thanks for attending.
Yeah. So like, I know in our early 20s we don't really like bother looking into it, because we were told to pursue this, or we were told to like we can achieve this and that.
When you say looking into it, do you mean more like financial literacy and stuff? Or just...
Well, yeah, because it was never part of life until you actually look into it yourself. When financial literacy matters the most, you're like, oh, I don't know how to do this. And don't get me wrong. Well, to be honest about myself, I never looked into it until like recently. All I've been told is to get a job and save. That's it. You're never told how to invest that money, how to manage that money, how to budget that money. I mean, I have learned this over time, like budgeting and that, but how to put that money into good use and how to spend your money. No, not really. I suppose most of this is like all come from like self-taught. You know, you have to learn this yourself, but it would have been very helpful if, you know, financial literacy, you know, is part of like the education growing up, or heck, you know, like
even if it's an optional course.
Yeah, like in maths, we have to learn to do algebra. Okay, that doesn't help in like most places.
Budgeting might be more helpful in...
Yes.
Yeah.
Budgeting, or put the subject of budgeting into maths. And like, or how to write a CV, or all that kind of stuff. In English, you know, how to write a CV, or how to write an essay, you know, blah, blah, blah. But what do we get instead? Oh, you will learn poetry. Like, looking back at school, I have an A in English literature. That's one of my top grades. And it's just useless to me now. So, yeah, going back to the 12-month thing. Yeah, I've been looking into financial literacy recently. Learned a lot from it. Gives you new perspective and like how to, well, not how to, but also see how money works. I don't know if I want to reference that book, though.
I have not got The
Oh.
Psychology of Money up there at the moment. That's been lent out to Harry.
Yeah. I recommend that book as well.
What, The Psychology of Money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who are listening to this.
Morgan Housel.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Ever since you introduced me to that book, it's not like any other financial book. It's not about advice. He never give you advice in that book.
No, it's incredibly difficult to not give advice, I think.
Yeah. So that opened my eyes a bit more about, spending as well as like other things as well. Mostly how you spend is what I've learned, and how you see things. Financial literacy was one of those big things. The mindset as well, and maybe not to be too harsh on myself ever since the rock bottom moment, because no matter, you can't, like, just look at it now, you end up comparing yourself to other people. Sometimes, I believe everyone does at some point, and that can hurt you can hurt yourself. Just keep comparing yourself to other people, whether they do, whether it's financially or mostly financially as well, because nowadays everything's gone up. Rent has gone up, food's gone up, utilities gone up.
Cost of living crisis has hit hard.
Yeah, and people will want more money, of course, and I don't know what to say now. What was I saying before? Yes, comparing myself to others. It's not like comparing how well they're doing. It's just like the need to impress other people. Like, if in doing so, you're showing that you're doing financially well, but that's not the case.
There's a brilliant chapter in that book, The Psychology of Money. Chapter 8, The Man in the Car.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. That's a really good. I think that kind of sums up what you're saying.
Yeah, because you don't want to give the impression that you're not doing financially well. They thought, he's probably, doesn't have enough savings. But also, not just that, but also affecting, let's say, if you're looking for a relationship and you don't want to look poor, because it might give the impression to them, they're probably not financially stable. I mean, it's just
lots of things are based on kind of superficial looks or items at the moment.
Yeah, it's like you're judging a book by its cover, but you don't know the content.
Yeah, it's a really good analogy.
But I get why people don't want to look poor or financially unstable, because it does show. It goes back to like showing a sign of weakness. You're not doing financially well. No one's got. You don't feel attracted because he has the money. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Especially when you're seeking relationships as well, which is, can be one of the factors. I just feel like you just need to stop comparing yourself. I think that's hurting. It's hurting you more than you realize, because the more you compare yourself, the more you're setting the standards or the bar higher for yourself, and if you can't reach that, then you end up being disappointed in yourself and depressed. I just feel like people just need to be happy with what they got. That's the most important thing. Like, yes, it's like when you get something new, you get that feel good vibes. I have this now.
Mm.
But sometimes you don't look at it from a long-term perspective. Like, say I get like a new coat. It feels good. You feel up to date with the modern world, but over time that could go out of fashion, and then I need to upgrade, or I need to be up to date, kind of thing. Yeah, like there are moments where I do need a new coat, which I'm still looking for a new coat for a few years now, a year or two now. Still haven't found the right coat, but that's okay because I already got a coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good to find a new coat that suits you well and can last for like 10 years. Yeah, like new shoes. My shoes is breaking a bit. I had the shoes for 2 years, and I feel I do need new shoes, but I haven't come across a shoe that I liked yet.
Yeah.
So as long as I have shoes, it's fine. Yeah. So,
It's interesting. You were just saying about kind of the future and how people are at this moment in time and like the way they react to certain things. They're kind of wanting to be up to date and such.
yeah.
Do you think that'll still be the same in like, not super far, but like 10 years in the future?
For everyone?
Yeah, what do you think the next, or in 10 years, if you kind of had to visualize humanity, what would you say?
I feel like no matter how much you want to push the whole idea, you don't need this and do that, there'll be people out there who still buy it just because you can't change who they are. As much as you want people to change, in the end, it's up to them. It's their choice, it's their decision.
No one's crazy.
Yeah, there's some people are crazy, but some people aren't. It depends how they view money. Like when I buy something, I need to make sure that the value I'm dishing out is worth my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say.
And how do you measure that? If it's worth your time?
Your usage and, it's like the spread of cost, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I have my PC 5 years. Haven't upgraded it since. Still working fine. Do I need to upgrade some parts? Maybe. But but that PC costs, the desktop or the desk setup cost what? 2.4K? For 5 years? I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, it probably divides quite well.
Yeah. So like if I spend something that worth 10 grand and I only use it for 2 years, then the money I spent on that's not worth it.
Yeah, you've spent $5,000 a year on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this jumper I'm wearing, I had it since 2016, 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Like, it does the job.
It does the job, yeah. As much as I want to upgrade or get a new one, but you see the point there. So I measure like, how I measure things is time and usage, regardless of cost. Well, cost does factor. So, as well as quality of said item as well. Yeah, when I get like a new pair of clothes or phone, I expect minimum 3 years before considering changing or upgrading. But unless it's lost or damaged, then yeah, I have to buy a new one. But other than that, I just have what I have. As much as I want to keep up to date with quote unquote the times, with the latest fashion and all that lot, nah, it's just no point. No point really. Like again, from the book. I don't know if it's from the book, but the only person who cared the most is yourself. Something like that, on the lines of that. Like you want, like the person who cares the most of what you got, of what you bought, is you in the end. Like you may show it to other people, but they may not care as much as you do. They won't care as much as you do because you're the one who owns it. It's like with the paradox chapter. Yeah. They don't care about they don't care about you. They care about what you have, but they don't care about you owning it. Kind of thing.
Is there anything you're scared of in the future?
Scared of? Future.
Like far down the line, I'm talking like 10 years again. Like what are you scared of?
Scared of? I have no idea. It's probably I can't see it, and that's quite scary. I don't know what's there for me in 10 years. I can probably see myself in 5 years, but not 10 years.
What are you scared of in 5?
In 5 years? Ah. Scared of being stuck in the same situation or in the same spot. It's like, if we go back to when I had my rock bottom moment where I look back on the last few years, been doing the same shit. I'm scared of being stuck again doing the same shit. Like I've, not achieved anything new, or I've not reached new horizons. Stuff like that.
What do you think your new horizons are? What do you want out of the next 5 years?
What do I want in the next 5 years? A lot of it is just dreaming about it. Your wishes. Again, it's really hard to say. It's, you want something, but you try it and you can't. Like, I don't know, what's the question again, sorry?
What are your dreams or your goals, your aspirations for the next 5 years?
The next 5 years,
them to be?
What do I want them to be? Just to pursue my... Okay. Because I did say to myself, drawing has been part of my childhood. I don't think I will let that die. Because growing up and going to school, education, drawing has always been the focus. And to let it die after spending 15, 20 years trying to make it happen, I won't let that happen, really. I'll keep drawing, even if it makes me money or not. It's the only thing that keeps me alive. Yeah. I can't imagine not doing drawing. I know drawing is a hobby, but I'd like to make it as a career or a side hustle. But I just couldn't imagine a lot, and I couldn't imagine in a lifetime where I just don't do drawing or have no hobbies or have no trade or skill set. I don't know, I'll probably be more depressed, but I'm thankful that I have the skill set because it's something I can work towards to outside of my job.
Where did your love for drawing come from? Do you know?
No, not really. Like I said, back in the whole childhood, the first memory question, I don't know, it was just there. My parents didn't introduce me to drawing.
Did you come out of the womb holding the pencil?
No. But every children have done drawing to some degree as part of playing toys and that. It just stuck with me, really. I suppose it's like a form of escape from the world, reality. I love drawing dinosaurs. and dinosaurs, dragons, all that stuff, because they are more exciting than the real world. Like, what do we have? Zebras, giraffes. They're boring.
I don't know. I think some people find them
yeah, I know. But
it ain't no dragon.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I said, drawing is like a form of escape. It's just like a different world. You can create stories. You can create your own stuff. You can you can also express what you like in a drawing as well. So say you like your parents, you draw mum and dad, or you like a TV show or something, you draw your favorite character, So no one has introduced me to drawing. It just kind of stuck with me. Like there's no origin story to it. All I can say is that every kid had done drawing, and over time, some kids don't draw anymore. Some kids still do. I'm probably one of the few kids who are just stuck with it. Yeah, I still have childhood drawings from way back. I never let them go. Some of them is probably like gone forever, but I still have drawings from when I was like year 5, year 6.
Wow.
Yeah, like as an artist, it's best to keep hold of those pieces of history, because the journey is like, it shows the journey really from 5-year-old to whenever. And I like keeping things that I've made just so it's a journey or the history to look back on. It's always a nice thing to look back on things that you've done, anything you make. That's also another thing as well. Sorry, just we might going off topic, but when I had my rock bottom moment, I said to myself, I can do more than just stacking shelves. And I want to leave something behind for anyone to look at drawings or stuff. Yeah, what do I get from stacking shelves? No one's gonna remember who you are, oh, that's it. Whereas, I've been drawing since whenever, and then at least I leave a mark behind. So, oh, this is the drawing from Toby. It's pretty good. And they might get a sense of joy or happiness depending on the picture, and that. It's just something for people to look and share. I like sharing drawings.
You want to leave kind of like a legacy of sorts.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. No one's going to remember your name, who you are, if you don't leave something behind, really. It's like with famous scientists or discoverers, explorers, I'm kind of want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be forgotten, really. I know that sounds corny.
No, not at all.
But, I'd just like to leave something for people to admire, share, and to inspire future generations, really.
Is there anyone you look up to? Kind of who's been quite influential in your growth as a human?
Well, mom and dad would be the cliche answer, really.
Yeah. All right, except mum and dad.
Except mum and dad. People outside of family. Are we talking about movie stars or
whoever you want? Who do you think has had a big impact on you growing up?
Growing up.
Except mum and dad.
Growing up. I don't know. Don't really have a name in mind. No, not yet. I haven't found that person yet. No. To be honest, I don't know.
It's all right. You don't need to know. I think it's definitely something that, or for me at least, it changes.
Yeah, it does.
Depending on where I am in my life.
It does changes over time. Your inspirations and people you look up to. Because as times change, people change. So whoever I had looked up to back when I was as a kid, probably a different person or someone now. Because circumstances has changed, times has changed. Yeah, no, I don't. No one really popped in my head. Maybe in the future, maybe someone.
Yeah. Mentioned times changing and people changing. Is there anything that you've done that you regret?
That I've done that I regret. Uh, Maybe my choice in uni, but I wouldn't be here where I am now, really.
Where did you go to uni?
I've been to 2 unis.
Okay.
One's the Montfort Uni in Leicester, which, I had my first rock bottom and, just kind of gave up. Second uni was in Cheltenham doing illustration. The first uni was game art and design because I always wanted to do like concept art, design for games and that. But I dropped because there was so much to learn in a short period of time, as well as the amount of pressure. Like I wasn't when I first started at uni, I had no skill in like digital painting at all. So I was at a disadvantage. There are some people who are experienced and there are some people who are greatly experienced. So they all have an edge. And someone with a traditional background with like watercolors and paints, it was a whole new learning curve. And I feel like that in combination of like learning new software and just learning a lot of new things had tripped me up to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore because it's just so much under pressure. And this is where the whole comparison thing coming from as well, because I want to be at that level, but there are already people who are at that level or near at that level, and they have an advantage because they can easily get the work done and I can't, So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I left, because I just couldn't keep up. It's like playing catch up, because they are already ahead of the game and you're not, and it hurts really. And after that uni, it was Cheltenham, more relaxed, chilled. We can do whatever we want. And I just did my own thing, digital painting. I went all in, learning how to paint digitally and all that stuff. Still learning now. And again, I think I've veered off the question. What was the question again? Sorry.
Don't worry, it's fine.
So we're not going back to that question.
I forgot what it was as well.
Oh
no, it wasn't. I was talking about regrets.
Regrets. Okay. Yeah. On the subject of drawing, I regret that I probably not discovered what I wanted to pursue earlier, because I feel like when I wanted to do like drawing and concept art as a serious thing, it's not until college, because from childhood to secondary school, I always viewed drawing as a hobby, but never really take it into account to as a professional thing. And at the time, I had a narrow mindset. I thought I could just draw this and that, but it turns out you can't, obviously. And I was like, what? I can't draw this, I can't draw that. And my foundation teacher said, no, because you're tunnel visioning. And looking back at it now, he is right. Because if I would have stuck to drawing specific genres or this and that, I wouldn't learn as an artist, and you wouldn't be able to adapt drawing this and that. And yeah, the discovering to take drawing or art seriously earlier is a regret. Not learning the digital softwares like Photoshop any sooner is also a regret, because again, back at uni, everyone's already on it and I wasn't on it. So I was at a disadvantage in terms of learning and drawing using such softwares. I don't think there's no other regrets. I think it's just the drawing bit, not taking it seriously enough, because I thought it was just a fun thing to do as a hobby.
Mm.
If I had gone to like an art school, like a proper art school, from secondary school, then yeah, I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is in the end. I can't change the past.
No.
But what you can do is learn from the past.
Learn from your mistakes, exactly.
Yeah. So I can't think of any other regrets. It's just that I would have been in a much better position in my drawing experience if I had learned to draw and learned the digital softwares needed. Because my parents, they didn't know about this whole technology stuff. So I was just doing pencil and paper the old-fashioned way until college. I was like now into Photoshop, but still doing paper, pencil, paint, that lot. And then university is like the learning curve is like a cow pole. It just shoots up. Everything's all digital and stuff. And you're at a severe disadvantage not knowing like the shortcuts or the techniques or the methods of drawing efficiently and all that lot, or the skills or like the cheats, well, quote unquote cheats, how to get better at drawing. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's the regret. Should have taken drawing a bit more seriously instead of as a hobby from a young age, really. But it's okay.
If you had a wish, if you could wish for anything, what do you have?
Wish for anything?
Yeah, if you had one wish.
One wish. It's the most cliche question ever.
I'm intrigued though.
One wish. I'm pretty sure everyone has more than one wish. There can never be a one wish. But people usually wish for something unrealistic, or like being rich or whatever. As much as I like to have a lot of money, the one wish I would want is to have a happy life, really. Money can't buy happiness. They can.
Well, it can buy you things that make you happy, maybe.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
But that happiness will die out. Anything that, a happy life could be anything. It doesn't have to be about money. It could be financial freedom.
Yeah.
It could be, having a good relationship with a partner, a nice family, peace and quiet, stress-free. I feel like a happy life will lead to other wishes. Nothing can replace a happy life. Yeah, you can have all the money you want, but you could be miserable.
I know lots of people like that.
Yeah. I mean, this wish could change, but I just want to be happy, really. And I know there'll be times where you compare yourself, and that's natural. They'll comparing yourself to others, wanting the new things, wanting to be up to date with things in general, not just, like materialist things or like go on holidays, such. But in the end, it's just being happy, really.
Okay. I'll ask you more of a blunt question.
Okay. This is where I get hit. Yeah. What is it?
Are you happy?
Am I happy? There are many moments in life where I am and I'm not. You can never be happy all the time. I feel like it does come at a cost. You do need to experience the emotions of being sad, depressed, lost, grief. Like, you can't just be happy. Like, there are times you can be happy, but it changes. You know, you say you're happy, but deep down you're not. But like happy ties with like other emotions, like what I said earlier: sad, loss, grief, anger, depressed. They're all in one package. Like you can't experience happiness without experiencing grief, and you can't experience grief without experiencing anger. It just they all thread together, really. So, am I happy now? At this point in time, yeah. Was I happy when I was at rock bottom? No, obviously I'm not. But was I happy before rock bottom? Yeah, sometimes. It goes. It's never a straight line going up. You know.
Yeah, you ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Through it.
Because there was this line. It's like a motivational speech. I know it's corny, I know, but like life is hard. And I remember this quote. I've never seen the film, but I've seen the quote.
What's the film?
The film is Rocky.
Rocky. Okay.
Yeah, I think Rocky 5. It's called Rocky Balboa, where like it does resonate me a lot. The quote is that, you know, life is not always about sunshine and rainbows, and life will always keep hitting you. And you gotta take the hits to move forward. I can't remember the exact line, but it's something like that, where life will keep beating you to your knees, and then you have to take the hits. You have to move forward and take the hit, and you have to keep moving forward. It's like he's referring to like a boxing match where each blow you take, you have to endurance, really. It's more about endurance. But if you want to show, there's also another line, if you want to show what you're worth, you have to go out there, but you got to be willing to take the hits that life throws at you. And move on. I know, I mean, yeah, I kind of resonate that with a lot. Especially when you're at rock bottom. The rock bottom was the punch. It knocked you down. And then if you stay down there, life will just keep throwing punches at you. And yeah, you just have to keep going forward. Really.
Thank you, Toby.
Thanks. I enjoy this.
It's crazy to have conversations like this with people. It's such an honor.
Yeah. I know it's weird that we did talk about this jokingly as a podcast.
Tell me about it.
But here we are. I like it. Yeah.
I think it's really important that people understand that, you know, they're not alone in what they're going through or their feelings.
No, they're not. Everyone's not alone. Everyone goes through these phases in life. It's just that people are too scared to show that side of them because they don't want to see people see their, they don't want friends or family to see them as, weak.
Yeah, there's lots of stigma around it.
Yeah, they don't want to be appeared as weak or incapable. And all that lot. So I feel like friends, well, depends really. Like in order to connect with friends at a deeper level, you have to be open and be vulnerable.
There's a quote in Leaders Eat Last, which is a book by an author and wonderful person called Simon Sinek. And it is about vulnerability and trust, and it's about relationships, and the only way that you can have like a fully fledged relationship is to be vulnerable and trust them, and that's how it starts, and that's how our relationships are built, on trust and vulnerability.
And go back to the first question, my core values. Honesty is one of the core values I hold. I know we have many friends, and it's very rare to be open to all of them. I feel like if you want to know each other more, you have to be open. Yeah. That's the only way you can gain a deeper understanding with each other. Because most of the time when you're friends, it's mostly on the surface level. You go out, hang around, enjoy a few laughs. But you never really sit down with them and like have such conversations. Because they might get a different perspective of you. And that's why some people are scared to be open. Like, being open may lead to losing friends as well. Because they don't want to be associated with what you're going through or how you feel. Because they may feel dragged down. And, it is a sensitive topic, depression and all that. Which is why some people just don't really want to share these kind of thoughts with friends. I have many friends, but it's only you at the moment who knows this. Who we open with each other and just ask questions about life, really. Because what friends usually do is say, "Oh, how are you doing? Oh, it's good. Everything's good." They want to know all the happy things you've done. They don't want to, and
they don't want to know that you cried yourself to sleep on Tuesday, for example.
Yeah. You rarely have these conversations, unless it's got to the point where you feel so shit about yourself, and you need to seek out someone who will understand you. And out of the 100 friends you have, you probably can reach 1 or 2 people.
On that level, anyway.
Yeah. So, for those who are listening, if you have any close friends who you can trust, but you have not been open with, just sit down with them and have a conversation. And when you reveal to each other your true feelings of how things are going, then you're able to support each other emotionally. And you'll know that you form a deeper connection doing that. And Ash, thank you for this. I would like to be on this again at some point in the future. You can ask me more questions if you want.
It would be a dream come true.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks.